Well, let's move over now to South Africa, where the Energy Department has announced an increase in the retail price of petrol and the wholesale price of diesel. This will take effect from May the 3rd. The department released a statement today saying the price of 95 octane petrol will climb 3.7% to 13.79 rand per litre in the commercial hub of Gauteng province, while diesel will rise 2.6% to 11 rand per litre. Well, moving on now, the giant African snail is sought after in parts of the world for its nutritional and cosmetic benefits. Here in Nigeria, some entrepreneurs have found opportunities to export the mollusks abroad.
Quitting an events planning job last year to invest in snails was the best career move Oluwatobilola Ohioma Bello says she has ever made. The entrepreneur sources snails from farmers in Lagos, Nigeria, and sells them to clients locally and abroad. Oluwatobilola collects the giant African land snail species, which are used in the beauty and food industries. The snails are increasingly being sought for their mucus, said to be full of collagen, glycolic acid, antibiotics, and other compounds that regenerate skin cells and heal cuts. Snail meat is also said to be nutritious. It is low in cholesterol and rich in proteins, making it a popular delicacy in various cultures. Oluwatobilola is preparing to ship her first consignment of 1,000 snails to the United Kingdom.
The export business came when I started here in Lagos, and I had a lot of inquiries from the US, from UK, from Holland, like a lot of Nigerians. Like even when I knew that I'd not even covered Lagos, even till now, I've still not covered Lagos, you know. So when I started having inquiries via email, via phone calls, then a lot of African stores were calling me, oh, can you supply us? And you know, in my head, it just clicked that, oh, there's a market for it. So that's how the export thing started, even though it took me a while to be able to find out the modalities of exporting snails, you know, outside of Nigeria.
Snail Care Farm is one of Oluwatobilola's suppliers. The 19-year-old farm breeds free-range snails. They roam and feed on greenery around the farm. Snails are hermaphrodites, which means they can only lay eggs. The farm currently has over 20,000 snails. Tadzio Okiria, the Snail Care Farm Managing Director, says demands for his snails has been growing fast in recent years.
Because of its amazing benefits, not just nutritional benefits, but other benefits. Like, for instance, the slime now is being harvested massively and used in cosmetics and pharmaceutical products. It has rejuvenating properties and helps with skin rejuvenation.
Oluwatobilola has spent about $4,000 to procure and ship this consignment of snails and expects to make a healthy profit. Shipping of livestock requires that traders meet strict regulations. She contacted a cargo company that regularly handles livestock shipments to help guide her through the lengthy process.
In terms of sourcing, you know, in large quantities, you have to have your game really, really tight. Then having the right people who would freight for you, because I know a lot of people have issues. They tell me, oh, it took them like 1 week or 2 weeks. So by the time they get their goods, it's rotting or customers are not interested, they are not as fresh as you are. So before I could get a freighting company that was reliable, it took time, because you know, at the end of the day, you're expending a lot of money into this. You don't just want to do something wishy-washy, and at the end of the day, your life savings just go down the drain.
Oluwatobilola says she plans to expand her business and open a snail factory in Nigeria that can process snail meat and collect mucus, as well as grind snail shells into powder for fertilizer and poultry feed processing.
Now, here's an interesting one coming from Egypt, where two entrepreneurs are transforming discarded shipping containers and transforming them into living spaces in stores. Offering alternative living space in Cairo, the containers are expected to have all modern amenities such as a kitchen, bathroom, spotlights, and insulated internal walls.
An Egyptian-designed duo has begun repurposing old steel shipping containers, transforming them into living spaces, shops and restaurants in an effort to introduce residents of overcrowded Cairo to cheaper and more versatile properties. Quebex, a one-year-old company founded by Yusuf Farag and Karim Rafla, delivered its first order in August 2016 after months of testing different materials, techniques and insulation methods in a container in their backyard. Rafla spent time studying in Britain, where he researched the concept of cargotecture, using cargo containers for architectural purposes, and wondered why the concept had never made it to Egypt.
على كونتينر سيتي دي واتفرجت عليها كلها ولقيت بقى سيتي كامله معموله من
I went to Container City near London and found it to be an entire city made from containers. Some of them homes, shops, restaurants, and people were living there. So the first thing I asked myself was, why do we not have this in Egypt? When I came back, the first thing I did was research the drawbacks of container architecture, because it must have drawbacks if it still doesn't exist in our country. Myself and my partner Yusuf then founded Quebex and spent the first 6 months studying how to manufacture this container, how to cut it, how to insulate it, and everything else we needed to know. He predicted cargotecture would work well because it was fast and mobile, and because the cost of labor and materials were cheaper in Egypt than in Britain. Prefabricated homes are not widely used in Egypt, where construction is done on-site using traditional brick and mortar, materials that have become increasingly costly since the country floated its currency in November. Pound has depreciated by roughly half since then, leading to a surge in inflation in a country that relies heavily on imports. Farag and Rafla said that given the comparatively low cost of construction using cargo containers, they hope to work on a solution for Egypt's informal housing crisis. The country of more than 92 million is struggling to build enough houses for the poorest in society, with many Egyptians living in sprawling slums and unlicensed apartment blocks.
احنا ممكن نستعمل كارجوتكتشر ان احنا نحل مشكلة العشوائيات بشكل
We can use cargotecture to solve the slum problem very efficiently and effectively and cost efficient for the country. Today, we have around 2 million Egyptians living in slums whose buildings have been incorrectly built and can collapse at any moment. These buildings can be demolished overnight, and the people living in them can be temporarily relocated until we can come in with containers and place them exactly where the buildings stood. The containers will be like any living home, complete with all modern amenities such as kitchen, bathroom, spotlights, and insulated internal walls.
And that's our program today. Many thanks for watching. I am Bisi Adebayo. See you next time.